Hey there. Oh man, it's so nice here. Really, really beautiful. I just wanted to get my share what's going on. Also, want to talk a little bit more about the shadow, which is a funny thing considering how beautiful it is here. And can we see our shadow as beautiful? Can we see our shadow as divine? Can we see our shadow as having a purpose? You know, these are the challenges that we face, right? How do we see the dark as part of the whole, as a necessary part of our lives? You know, how do we see it in a way that can be useful and can be helpful and can be in unity? I know it's a struggle for me, and I'd imagine it's a struggle for everyone. I mean, one of the biggest struggles of that is to admit that it exists, right? So the hiding behind it, or whispering, so I don't even know what that means, but take it for what it as it resonates. You know, the way that we see the shadow manifesting in our lives, in our lives, you know, either coming through us or around us externally with the people that we're interacting with, or even through media. We see it manifesting through hatred, right? Judgment, division, jealousy, right? When we secretly want somebody, or secretly are happy that somebody is failing, or want them to fail, that's the shadow, right? That's the part of us that doesn't feel good enough or needs validation through somebody else's failure. That is some dark shit, and we all have that. It's through manipulation, right? Trying to get our way through manipulation. The shadow is also manifests itself as scarcity. We're not, we don't have enough. There's too many humans on the planet. There's not enough to go around. That's some shadow stuff, right? No smoke coming this way. So we see the shadow, and we feel the shadow through our thoughts. And we're not good enough. And we see it with other people outside of us when we're trying to do something, when we're trying to change, and we're trying to manifest something amazing in our life. And they're covertly shading us, throwing shade onto us with small innuendos and pointing out all the things that could go wrong. And so that we have to watch out for that, because when we're starting something new, it's best not to talk about it with folks who are not supporting us. And we might not even know it, really, that that's even happening. So, yeah, the shadow's all around us, and it's a collective shadow too now. You know, where there's divisions in politics, the right or the left, or you know, it's everywhere. Unity and love, they're not about that, right? That vibration is way up here compared to those other vibrations. Those vibrations of pointing the fingers and judging and blaming other people for our plight in life. Yes, there is inequality on our planet right now, and it has been going on for a long time, and these are the kind of things, through violence and sexual oppression and oppressing women and oppressing complete and whole people because of their color, has created this shadow. Those kind of things create the shadow deep into our ancestral lineage. And so how do we move past the shadow? I get a little excited. How do we resolve it? So the shadow, in a lot of ways, is there to be resolved. Yeah. And so when we see it and love it, and don't react to those shadow parts of ourselves through the triggers, and you know, those triggers they're wanting us to see that shadow within us. Whew. All right, everybody take a deep breath out there. Breathing deep down into the base of your spine, and then breathe down into the earth. Just releasing all that heavy energy down into the earth. One more time. One more time. All right. So when we talk about the shadow, it can trigger some things in us, or it can agitate us. And we have to remember that whatever we're talking about, we're attracting. And so the best way to really resolve any kind of shadow that's within us, and you know, I have my shadow, you have your shadow, so no one's gonna really know what kind of shadow you have better than you. Okay? Because we don't talk about the shadow. Okay? We don't talk about it too much. All right? Some of us do, but a lot of us don't. They don't want to talk about it. We don't want anyone to know about that part of us. Right? So just pay attention. You know, the invitation here is to pay attention of how it manifests in your life. And the opposite of that is to bring light instead of being jealous of somebody's, like when you're not feeling very good and you're depressed or whatever it is, you're not, things aren't going good. And somebody else is like, hey, look at me. Be happy for them. Be happy for them. Right? Support them. We don't have to feel like, oh, they're just boasting, blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe they're happy about something. And, even if we're down and out, we should celebrate that with them. I don't understand the thing in this culture or society where, like, if things are going well, like, you can't talk about it. You can only talk about the things that aren't going well. Does that make any sense? It's just, we live in an upside down reality. It's just, yeah, of course you don't want to, when somebody's having a hard time, talk about how great your life is, you know, like, I mean, that's not helpful to them sometimes. And also, you know, just seeing the shadow that's within you, right? Following it back to your childhood. Taking deep breaths and just following it back to the origin seed of that shadow part of you. That's how we can love that part of ourselves at that moment. And there really is a lot to do with like loving that child within us. Yeah. And it takes time sometimes. And at the same time, the reason why this stuff is coming up is because the unity paradigm is rising up within us. Those parts of us, the light, the love, the unity within us is being awakened. And the shadow is dissolving, resolving. And when it does, we evolve and we take big time evolutionary leaps and create new timelines that are abundant and beautiful and hopeful. Okay. I know I just had a job, had a couple jobs, and I was writing a book, and I dealt with a lot of shadow stuff around me, and also was activating whatever was left in me. And when you get around a bunch of people who are negative all the time and just don't think that the world is that we're just all doomed. It's not that you believe it, but it's like it's hard to overcome. For me, it just shuts me down, because if I'm not allowed to speak about the hopeful things that are within me, or that I believe are going to happen, if that is just constant, I don't want to have to defend that, right? And so that pushes me into more of a shadow state, which really makes me angry. So I know that maybe some of you are dealing with that too, that you're hopeful and you know that things are going to be okay, but everyone else around you is negative, pessimistic, not hopeful, not helpful. For fuck's sakes, it's hard to deal with that kind of stuff all the time. And it's a good reason to not be around that kind of stuff all the time if you can help it. But sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes you need a job. Sometimes you got 3 kids and you're taking care of grandma and you're doing the best you can, and you got 2 jobs and you're waking up and you know that things are going to be better, but everybody around you is just not feeling the way that you are feeling about it. And you can still change your life. Even if you've got 3 kids and you're taking care of grandma and you got an ex that's a pain in the ass, and there's no excuse to not come into the light here. Yeah, and shine that light on everyone. All right, that's all I got for you today. I love this spot. It's so amazing. It's so beautiful. Crested Butte was such a beautiful place. Remember to check out my website below and check out my book, man. It's like, there's no stories in my book. It's all written in the neutrality of love. I'm giving you some stories in these videos, but I can tell you right now that when you get that book, your life will change. The vibrational continuity of within us is such that it will lift you out of any kind of shadow situation that you're in. I promise you, if you just hold on to that book, the vibration of that book holds a lot of unity energy within it. And it's a living book. Anyways, I love you all. Bless you. and take care. Goodbye.